Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I have some interesting things to share with you in this video. First of all, Spark token, it hit 34 cents today. It hit 34 cents, and it has since retraced a bit. I also learned, and maybe some of you knew this, I just was completely unaware, just happened to have not seen news on this anywhere, but there are actually two different cryptocurrency exchanges that are currently allowing the trading of the Spark token. And both are IOUs. Of course, the Spark token itself has not been released, but they're trading at vastly different price points. And so I want to explain why that is, what's going on. And I've also come across multiple chart analysts, and this always catches my attention, multiple chart analysts that are predicting more or less the same thing in terms of XRP price action. Talking about, and look, they're not saying it'll go to a certain, like they're not exactly agreeing like to the penny where it's going to go, but the trajectory and rough timeline does match up for that, and their opinions on Bitcoin actually too. So that'd be interesting to run through some of this stuff. Now, I do want to be clear that I am not a financial advisor. I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I just think it's fun to talk about these topics as an enthusiast, and I run this YouTube channel purely as a hobby. Also, if you would please delicately tap the like button, I would appreciate the support. And also, if you would consider at least subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel, because if you do, we could be friends. Maybe even best friends. I'm excited just thinking about it. How about you? All right, XRP as I record this is at 26.7 cents. Bitcoin at $32,283. Market cap down to 959 billion. Bitcoin dominance at 62.64% on lately a downward trend because altcoins, although not in full-blown alt season, have been picking up the pace of late. So take a look at this. This is cryptocurrency exchange BitTrue. This is the FLR USDT trading pair. So the FLR FLR, it's I shouldn't have said FLR. FLR is what represents the Spark token. I always just think FLR when I see FLR because it's FLR Networks that launched the damn thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So as I record this, it's at 23.4 cents, but you can see right here, this wick, it got up to just a hair over 34 cents, which is insane. So at that time, worth more than XRP. And it's interesting. So, I was asked, there's somebody, Blockchain Rocket, because I mentioned yesterday for the first time the Spark token was worth more than XRP. And Blockchain Rocket responded to me when I mentioned this on Twitter and said, yes, Matt, but when the billions of them are actually received, what do you think the price will be when people start selling? And so I responded, I don't make price predictions, but even if markets are volatile, things will settle probably. It's mostly going to be simple supply and demand dynamics for speculators rather than focusing on utility, and that means the amount of spark that's liquid, not total spark, is what matters most. And so I was kind of thinking about it additionally in these terms. Like, because the question is, okay, when all these billions of Spark tokens hit the market, does that just mean instantly you're going to see some sort of a stupid price drop? Well, I don't know how many markets are even going to be open when they hit. First of all, I couldn't even tell you because I haven't seen a bunch of cryptocurrency exchanges say they're going to do anything other than custody it. If anybody has any additional information on that, let me know. So that's kind of tough to answer right there. If most exchanges right out the gate are only going to offer custody, then if people want to trade these things, they're going to have to flood the couple exchanges that do offer trading of it. And so again, it's always going to be supply and demand dynamics at play. And so the question is, if you do have, though, multiple cryptocurrency exchanges that are offering trading of the Spark token, it's kind of a question of, because think about it this way. When trading of the Spark token IOU began on BitTrue, there would be a certain amount of liquidity, coins available to be traded on the platform. So that's one factor to consider. And then it's also the users on that particular platform. How many out of that, whatever the sample size is, for that particular exchange, how many people are bullish or bearish? Like, how are those individuals behaving? So if you take a sample size of X thousands of humans or however many people are on that exchange, are they fundamentally going to behave differently than the same sample size on a different exchange? or even if the sample size is larger on a separate cryptocurrency exchanges, is the proportionality of bulls versus bears going to be substantially different? And if so, well, that's interesting. I don't know why, but it could be. So you got to factor in that plus the liquidity. And so there are a lot of unknowns, so there's no way to know exactly how this will play out. But I suspect that even if you see a price action to the downside, which isn't guaranteed, it certainly could happen, at some point, markets are going to find their level of normal, and then they'll continue to be volatile crypto assets regardless from there on, and enter price discovery. That's what I think anyway. So it's going to be an interesting ride regardless. But I mean, I have seen when coins get listed on exchanges that they just pump up in price and then minutes later crash down by like over 1,000%. I have actually seen that. It's insane. So I don't know for sure what to expect. But even if there's a massive pump. And so this is also interesting. Let's talk about this. Poloniex, they are also listing the Spark token. And I found out, if I could give credit, the reason I found out about this, somebody responded in my thread here. It was, if I could find the individual real quick, I'd like to. Did I scroll past it? There's an individual that said that it was trading for a different price on Poloniex, and it just caught my attention. I apologize if I might have just scrolled right past the damn thing and just not saw it. Yep, okay. Well, I apologize. I wanted to credit you. If it was right on the screen, and I'm going to feel bad if I go back and watch this and like, Matt, you just scrolled past the guy. But anyway, so this individual let me know that, oh, here it is. There we go. I did scroll right on past it because I thought I would be able to see more of the image. That's what I was looking for. Anyway, this is to VREX Po Center on Twitter, wrote, still 11 cents on Poloniex. And so I was like, oh, I had not heard. Maybe some of you knew. I happen to have not been in the know, so I guess you're cooler than me. But indeed, they have launched it. And I don't know what day because they didn't put a timestamp, a date stamp on this particular piece, but this is the Poloniex website. And they wrote, we're excited to introduce support for a new IOU token today. Earlier this month, we snapshotted all XRP balances to prepare for the upcoming Spark airdrop for XRP holders. Today, we're introducing an IOU token for Spark so that Poloniex customers can begin participating in price discovery for FLR before the network launches. And they also note here, since this is an IOU, it cannot be deposited or withdrawn. Now, don't just keep that tucked away in your head for just a moment. The price on Poloniex exchange for the Spark token is 11.5 cents as I record this. And again, it is 23.4 cents as I record this on Bitro, so you could be like, well, WTF, mate, what's going on here? And if these, we already know that the Poloniex exchange, you can't withdraw. Presumably that's true for Bitro. I'm not sure. I was kind of wondering how that worked. I just hadn't seen any sort of clarification on that. I was like, can you really just like sell these damn things and do whatever? I don't know. Poloniex, the answer is no for sure. And if they're the only two markets in the entire world for this, and you can't trade amongst the two, you have two separate ecosystems that are engaging in price discovery currently, and there's no opportunity for arbitrage. Meaning, if you purchase the cryptocurrency cheap on Poloniex. If there weren't a limitation on being able to withdraw, you could then transfer it to Bitro and then sell it at the higher price, which is, roughly, actually a little over double what it is on Poloniex as I record this anyway. So there would be an arbitrage opportunity. Now, in the real world, arbitrage opportunities are a thing. And so that's why you have slightly different prices on every cryptocurrency on the planet from exchange to exchange. But there are smart people that are, they're savvy. They look for these opportunities amongst price discrepancies from exchange to exchange, and they take advantage of that. And there's nothing legally, or as far as I can think anyway, morally wrong with that. They're just saying, people are willing to pay this. It's supply and demand, whatever. But because people do that, that's what makes the pricing across exchanges almost always the same, almost always exactly the same. It's, typically a little off, but from exchange to exchange, you're usually not going to see much of a disparity, and that's because people do engage in these arbitrage opportunities. So once you do have a bunch more exchanges and you do have an opportunity for arbitrage opportunities, people will take advantage of them, and you'll end up with a steady price, whatever that is. But with the amount of increased liquidity we're going to see versus who knows what the supply and demand dynamics will be, I don't know for sure what it's going to look like, but I feel confident whatever happens, it's probably going to happen quickly, and it's going to settle in, whether it takes, hours or a day or two or three, I don't know, but it will find some sort of level. It'll probably start to consolidate, and then it's going to take off. That would be my guess, but I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But it is neat to see that, like the altcoin rally hasn't even happened yet. So who knows? Like, depending on when the Spark token actually launches, it could be rather interesting if it gets to participate in alt season. So we shall see. All right, chart analyst High Altitude Investing. He put out a video where he was talking about where he's expecting the price of XRP to go, and I'll just cut to the chase on this. He ultimately said somewhere, in the short term, upwards of 70 cents, and he fully anticipates that XRP is going to be participating within this alt cycle, and that it's ultimately going to exceed $1. Now, of course, I always joke anyway, like, Bitcoin could sneeze, though, and you have to redo your charts on every other altcoin. And so he did state that if Bitcoin corrects lower, you're going to see in the short term XRP go down in price. Right, and that shouldn't be a surprise. Bitcoin leads the market, but that it's not going to mean, it doesn't mean that XRP and the rest of the altcoins won't go back up. It seems obvious that they will. Historically, they always have anyway. And so Blockchain Backer, he was talking about the same thing in a recent video. He says, look, the crashing structure of XRP, effectively, it's over. And even put in his thumbnail in his most recent video, that and he said it in the video as well, he's expecting XRP to hit 50 cents. But of course, if you see Bitcoin go down, which he acknowledges also is a possibility, you could see XRP go down to, I think he said 24, maybe 21 cents, if my memory serves. Not trying to put words in his mouth, but I believe that's what he said. So that's two analysts that are more or less saying the same thing, but that's not the only one. Then there was this piece from the Daily Hodl titled "Prominent Trader Says Bitcoin Facing Moment of Truth, Updates Outlook on Ethereum and XRP," and they're talking about none other than Credible Crypto, who has 99,000 Twitter followers now. It's amazing. And I've been following him for some time. He is one of the individuals, actually all three of these people are individuals that said, when we saw that burst in mid-November where XRP took off from 20-something cents up to somewhere close to 80 cents, these are three of the many analysts that said, hey, something's going on here. And I saw all of this align, and I just was like, okay, that's a lot of analysts all saying the same thing. This is about to pop. And so what Credible Crypto cited here was effectively the same thing, because he had already stated that he thinks XRP could go up in the short term to about 46 cents, but he's citing here, hey, look what's happening to Bitcoin. And so here's a quote from him. "Moment of truth here for Bitcoin and the rest of the market, really. If Bitcoin does make this final leg down, it will drag everything else with it for now. I've been watching the $34,000 to $35,000 level for days now, and we finally tested it." So, I've said it before in my videos. I take note when multiple analysts are more or less saying the same thing here. So they've all said, yes, XRP could go down, and that will happen if Bitcoin goes down. Other than that, it looks like the crashy structure is complete. And they're all saying that despite what's happened with the SEC, they expect upward price momentum. So again, Credible Crypto says 46 cents. The Blockchain Backer said 48 to 50 cents. High Altitude Investing said upwards of 70 cents, so back to about where we were before things started tanking. And then he said beyond that, over $1. He fully anticipates that XRP will be participating, regardless of the news with the SEC versus Ripple. He says that XRP will be participating in a rally, and we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's certainly a bunch of people have been scared out of the market, so the price, I believe, still is artificially suppressed. I mean, I don't think anybody would really dispute that. So yeah, so that's why I've been saying too, I suspect that XRP is just going to continue moving in tandem with the rest of the market, but at an artificially suppressed level. So, even if there's a rally, even if these analysts are right here, and they very well may be, if that's the case, this is a lower level than what it would otherwise be at. And I don't think that's going to surprise anybody that it's there. So that's why I'm just waiting for, ideally, some sort of settlement between Ripple and the SEC. And if that happens, I bet the moment that news hits, I bet price action is going to be bonkers that day. So we'll just have to keep watching. But interesting times. I'm feeling good about all this regardless. It's an exciting time. But I will wrap up here. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because of anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.